It is a general belief that we have a God up in heaven who oversees the affairs of men here on earth. While on earth, fathers play the coordinating roles as the head of households, which ultimately makes up the communities, towns, state, and also the nation. But when you have a combination of God and a father in a human being, then something definitely is up for the takers. Now, welcome to Democracy Now!, a platform where we x-ray the actions, the tenets, the dividends and whatnot of democracy, the most preferred form of governance in Nigeria today. I am Charles Ibe, and on this edition we will be looking at the phenomenon of Godfatherism in Nigerian politics, pitting it against mentorship in an ideal situation. Nigerians will also be weighing on the concept of Godfatherism, and we will be able to establish if it is actually helping or destroying the tenets of democracy in Nigeria today. Lots more are loading on the program, and you can have it all if you stick around. Join us again in a moment. Thanks for staying tuned. And a quick reminder that you can join this conversation and share your thoughts on the matters that matter on this program. All you have to do is go to the comment section and air your views. Click on the like and subscribe buttons, and as a matter of importance, share the good news with your friends and foes alike on your network. Easy, isn't it? Now, when it comes to political settings on the African democracy, the term Godfather has evolved over time and has become a defining word among the elites and an awe-inspiring factor among the electorate. In Africa and other developing countries like Nigeria, Godfatherism has become the central point of political vandalism. This is as a result of overconcentration of authority and capital of politicians for the control of structures and organizations by the political class in the nation. Now, the politics of Godfatherism and regionalism has featured prominently in the political history of independent Nigeria, while the struggle and the resultant values have impacted significantly on the society in various ways. Now, who indeed is a Godfather? And what is he supposed to represent in the political settings? Let's take a look at this special report and join us afterwards. In contemporary democracy, politics of Godfatherism has become a universal issue in the political development of many countries, Nigeria inclusive. The politics of Godfatherism has entered every nook and cranny of the nation and has affected the political structure of the country. Stemming from the elitist theory as advocated by Vilfredo Pareto in 1935, elites are replaced by another group of elites, meaning that the majority are unavoidably governed by the minority, a situation which ultimately gives rise to the phenomenon of Godfatherism in political settings.
The word Godfather is borrowed from the mafioso concept that came up in Sicily, Italy. And it is a concept that respects hierarchy. Hierarchy cannot go wrong. Therefore, hierarchy is shared, is respected. Any attempt to go against hierarchy becomes very, very dangerous.
The politics of Godfatherism has a negative impact on the socio-economic and political development of the nation by confining power in the hands of the few elites at the expense of the masses. This has affected the socio-economic and political development of the nation and by extension led to inter-party and intra-party defections, decamping and conflicts among party members. Godfathers in some nations are inspired by their resolution to regulate public policies in favor of their concerns. The godfathers in Nigerian politics are primarily concerned with appropriation of government contracts, political and public appointments, and plundering the coffers of the state while using their advantage positions to decide the political confidence of candidates to political offices.
We need to trace this new culture that has become Godfather, that has destroyed the fabric of our political ideology, to the incursion of the military into politics. The military did not leave the political scene willingly. It was as a result of critical engagement from critical stakeholders. We can still remember Sikh Nadeko and the pariah status of Nigeria at that time that has forced the hand of the military government to relinquish power. However, as strategic as they were, they leave power, but the statement of Babangida comes to mind that he was stepping aside. They only step aside. And by stepping aside, they have their eyes in the big apple to still control the whims and caprices of our political expeditions from the sideline. And therefore, the ideology of Godfather begins to move into our political lexicon.
Godfatherism is the problem we are facing today, that Nigeria today has been rated as one of the country with high rate of poverty. Because one single individual wants to divert the whole resources that is meant for the people.
In 1999, we all knew how the great Obasanjo was made the president from the prison. And subsequently, it has become a trajectory of our political engagement. And it continued to metamorphosize with various styles, with various techniques. And we find ourselves in a situation whereby before you become somebody politically, you have to align yourself to a man who probably may not have won an election, but probably has a lot of war chest, as we call it, a lot of resources to spend.
In this flawed arrangement, those that are not only seen but confirmed to be loyal to the Godfathers cannot be given tickets to be the flag bearer of the political parties, so as to ensure that the godsons will be answerable to them when they are elected into power. The godson oftentimes becomes a stooge of the Godfather, while the failure of the godson to meet the demands of the Godfather is often punished with impeachment or denial of re-election.
Government in the center, they are always interested in one election or the other. Take for instance, the governor of a state will say, no, this House of Assembly member must not go. And he will use all the necessary arsenal within his disposal to make sure that he frustrates the most acceptable candidate. So that is the major problem we are facing.
The crisis rocking the political environment in Edo State has seen the immediate past governor of the state and former chairman of the ruling All Progressive Congress, Adams Oshiomhole, locked in a fierce battle of wits and structure with the incumbent governor, Godwin Obaseki. The duo, who were former political allies, are now vicious political foes, with the Godfather-Godson relationship pushed aside because the Godson has become disobedient and no longer takes instructions from the Godfather.
Endured so much as a governor. As governor, I've not been able to even dominate somebody for a federal appointment. And meanwhile, federal appointments are made every day. I will sit down, you call me from the Senate, are you aware of this? I keep quiet. I cannot be governor and not be governor. I should be able to make decisions, and I've made decisions which, in my view, are in the best interest of Edo State.
I sold a bad product, but I'm telling you, any of us should have made that mistake. As they say, a green snake, other green snake. Now, the summer has come, the green is getting brown, and we can now see the snake.
The activities of these political fighters has deprived the people of voting for their ideal applicants as their leader. This has directly affected the political arrangements and national economy of the nation and does not promote leadership on merit or based on popular demand. Godfathers operate like mafia, hiding under politics to perpetrate criminal acts with their private army of thugs, disrupting electoral processes, killing and prompting political instability. This scenario is inimical to good governance and political stability, which are predicted on the rule of law, due process, accountability and transparency in the management of the public business. Political patronage has robbed the citizens of the privilege of enjoying the dividends of democratic governance, in the sense that the would-be government becomes reluctant to initiate and implement policies that would advance the well-being of the generality of the citizens.
When political parties do not have clear ideologies, then how would political mentorship thrive? Because political mentorship is not a standalone. It is the ability to be able to transform the ideology that is tied to the political party to a political follower, such that it becomes its clear mindset in terms of political engagement and service that brings up mentorship. But where you don't have clear-cut political ideology from the many political parties that we have, the only thing that has become a permanent feature is in politics, there is no permanent enemy and permanent friend. In politics, it is the interest that matters.
While having a godfather in politics may not be wrong if it is used to get the best people into public offices, their selfish and destructive overbearing influence would continue to hamper dividends of democracy, because he who pays the piper dictates the tune.
It is not completely to say that you cannot strive politically without a godfather, but it is right to say that the involvement of some people in quote who call themselves godfather are creating so much problem in our political setting that until and when that word disappears from our political lexicon, it will take us a very, very long time to get leaders who will serve the people, and we can measure our growth and development, and we'll be proud as Nigerians.
Godfatherism is an impediment to Nigerian democracy. It is adversative to the freedom and welfare of the people. Therefore, the problem of Godfatherism should not be preserved as a party affair, but should be treated with legal action by the government and the party stakeholders. The demand for a sustainable democracy in Nigeria is to expand both the political and socio-economic situation of the country through massive people participation in policy and decision-making processes, and this status quo can never be achieved in a system entrenched with Godfatherism. That was quite insightful and on-point layout of expert perspectives on the issue of Godfatherism in Nigeria. It is indeed an ideology which deprives the people of their fundamental human rights of not benefiting from the dividends of democracy, as it is rapidly converting politics from a civil engagement to an enterprise where only the money bags are beneficiaries. Now, what do the average Nigerian think about the issue of Godfatherism? Do they perceive it as a normalcy, or do they see it as an anomaly that needs to be checkmated?